Hi People is pleased to present 40 Days 40 FinTechs, an initiative under its Include Everyone program, as it continues to lead the way in advocacy for the creation and dissemination of technology that enables financial inclusivity. The 40 Days 40 FinTechs is shining a spotlight on those that are breaking down digital barriers and bringing millions more on the continent into the transactional space and transforming their lives for the better.
My name is Alice Sharon Namugerwa. I am the team lead at Belle Beauty. We are actually registered as Belle Beauty Basics Uganda Limited, but we trade as Belle Beauty Uganda. We are the minds behind the first digital platform that connects beauty service providers to those that actually need the services. And we currently have an app that does that, and we have an app and a website actually. So you can use the website if you want, if you're really fast and you need it immediately, but we advise people to just download the app because the app actually has other functions that the website doesn't have. So yes, we have a digital marketplace that brings beauty service providers together and that connects beauty service providers to. So basically, if you do hair, if you do nails, if you do makeup, and you very sure about what you do, you're good at what you do and everything, and you just need a platform that will connect you to customers, just like Uber. How Uber, you go with your car and then they'll connect you to the customers using their platform. That's basically what we do. So we use our platform to connect people that are specialized in hairstyling or hair braiding or makeup artistry or nail artistry to those that actually need these services. So we are a mobile business. It's not like we have a salon where we operate and whatever, no. We're a mobile business. So these service providers are independent. Our platform, I look at our platform as a middleman platform. So we have two types of customers. For us as a business, our customers are also the beauty service providers, and also our customers are the people that utilize the app to actually order for these services. So I'm going to take you through both ends. For now, service providers, because we have the service provider app as well on both stores. So for the service providers, we onboard them. There is a whole process that we go through when we are onboarding them. We do due diligence on them. There is certain documentation that they're supposed to provide. Then they sign contracts. We as a company do not set the prices for the service providers. So the service providers set their own prices. So you're going to find on the app that there are those that braid for 50,000 and there are those that braid for 100,000. For us, what we provide in our app is a rating system. So as a customer, when you're choosing, you choose according to the rating that makes you happy and the feedback that has been given on that person. So we don't decide their prices for them. So they decide their prices. The service providers decide their prices. They sign the necessary paperwork alluding as such to what their prices are, and then we onboard them. We take them through our training, take professional pictures of them that we onboard on the platforms, and then they are good to do business. Then on the side of the customer, when the customer orders for a service, let's say you want makeup and you want it, depending on when you want it, because the app is able to show you who is available and who is not. So when you order for a service and the app has pulled out the service providers that are in close proximity with you to your location, the order comes through. So when that order comes through, it comes to the admin side and it also goes to the service provider app as well. So the service provider receives that order in real time. So when they receive in real time, the order has the specifics of what the person wants, if it's makeup, where they are at, and the time when they need it. And if the service provider is not available, the app gives them the right to actually, it gives them that the leeway to actually suggest, maybe I'm not available at 11 a.m., but I'll be available at 1 p.m. So it goes back to the customer as well. But we have an admin app as well, and on the admin side, I take note of all those interactions between the two parties. So if like the customer wants that service urgently and they have sent it to a service provider who is not able to give it as urgent as the customer wants it, we are able to go in the system and reallocate it to a service provider who is available to do it as and when the customer needs it. So when all that stuff has been agreed upon, like the person has agreed upon the time, the place, in the ideal that, yeah, that I am available and I'm available, I'll come and do what you want. Before the service, before actually the customer receives the notification, before the service provider receives the notification, the payment has already been made in the system. So once the payment has been made in the system, the onus is on us to actually make sure that the customer gets the service that they have actually asked for. So once the service provider is able to complete that service, on the side of the app, on their side of the app, they're able to mark as complete, then it comes to my queue to actually make the necessary payouts. And we usually make those payouts in less than 48 hours, sometimes almost immediately, depending on the ask of the service provider. It's done by a FinTech. They collect the money on our behalf, and then they pay out they pay out in less than 24 hours. So if they pay out as fast as they can pay out, is equal to the same speed as to which I can pay out to the service providers. And they also provide an allowance whereby instead of probably paying out, because sometimes every service provider is unique, and like I said, I have 2 customers to please. If I don't have service providers, there is no business for me. So sometimes you're going to find service providers that need their money urgently. Once they are done with the service, they're going to pass by your office to come and pick up their money. So you're going to find that maybe that the FinTech company hasn't yet paid out, or the money hasn't yet been made available. So you're going to find that you're going to have to outsource funds from another place so that you can pay. You can pay that service provider so that you can ensure that the service provider is happy and satisfied. Belle Beauty is a woman-centric app, and it was formed, I created the idea when I was thinking about how women are actually the backbone of our economy without people noticing that they are. You're going to find that women in the informal sector are single mothers that support their kids. I personally have my own hair stylist, and she was the first service provider I signed up on Belle Beauty. She's a single mother, and during lockdown, she wasn't working. She had a salon in one of these buildings, and buildings were closed, and when they would try and open, they would expect them to pay all the rent of the months that had passed. And in just my interacting with her, I actually left with that thing of, but she's not the only one. She has her friends and her mates. How are they surviving? They're single moms, and you can find they're the sole providers of their households. How are they surviving? So I created Belle Beauty primarily to give women like that, women in the informal sector or beauticians in the informal sector, a place where they could actually meet customers and put their craft to use, because they are actually really good at what they do. So I created it. That was the basis of my creation of Belle Beauty as a platform. And now we are working on more and more ways. And you won't believe that these stylists are the ones that give me ideas on other ventures that we could take. So we are working on more and more ways on how to include them more and more. So for example, we are going to shift to a bigger space, I think starting next month. That bigger space is going to give hairstylists an option whereby you don't have to have a salon, but you can just come with your client, as long as they are booked through Belle Beauty, the Belle Beauty app. You come with your client there. It's in a very good place. It's going to be in Tinder. You come with your client. You work on your client from there. Your client goes, you go, you get paid and all that, so that you don't have to incur the costs of running a business as a woman, or as a proprietor anyway, whatever it is. So you don't have to incur the costs of running a business. Setting up a business is expensive, it's costly, it's time consuming. So instead of having to say, let me have a salon in a building, you just have to get your clients to sign up on Belle Beauty, and then they can book you through Belle Beauty, and then we can give you a space where you can work on them from and not have to incur any extra cost. So we try as much as possible in daily interacting with them on how we can make their lives better, how can they benefit more from this. And the other way we are trying to keep pushing for inclusion of women, there was a report that I read, I think it was a UNCDF report I read, and they said it's going to take almost 200 years for women, for the income gap between men and women to be closed. And then I asked myself, someone that has a women-centric app, what can I do about that? So one of the reasons as to why our payouts take between 24 to 48 hours is because you're going to find people that are going to say, hold my money for me until a certain period, maybe until 3 months. Let me work, I'll get one bulk payment. Or let me just hold my money for me, let it be there. Let me just consider it an investment, a Belle Beauty investment. So one of the things that we are trying to work on is to create a way whereby instead of me holding their money, we can invest their money in things, in, markets and things like that, through maybe other partnerships, maybe with like Zeno or whatever, or maybe even create our own. So once you create something, you don't fear it anymore. So maybe we shall create our own way or our own app that can enable people to invest their earnings from Belle Beauty into financial markets and make extra money off it instead of me holding it for them. Because when I hold their money for them, it increases my liabilities as a business. So those are some of the things that we are working on as a business, to see that we empower the people that we work with. We empower these stylists, because you're going to find most of them are really good at what they do, but they have not been presented with enough knowledge and enough opportunities to fully exploit it and for it to become a legit source of income, something that can sustain them. I believe that a platform like 40 Days, 40 FinTechs One gives first of all, it brings visibility and exposure, because it might not just be me, but I want to believe even the other people on the list that have been chosen to be on the 40 Days, 40 FinTechs this year would appreciate being known, coming into the limelight. It's free publicity. For us, if you're a startup, everything costs money and you're funding from your own pocket. So you appreciate anyone that believes in your idea enough to give you their platform for you to talk about it. So it gives that visibility, and for that I am very, very grateful. And then it also highlights it highlights the ecosystem of the fintech space. You get to see who the players are. You get to familiarize yourself with their ideas. You get to see what can I learn from them, and I can maybe include in my own business and see maybe, I would want to be like that person 3 years from now. What can I do now to get me there? And so a platform like 40 Days, 40 FinTechs gives you that. Belle Beauty, it's a holistic beauty place. We keep working on more and more things that are coming in the pipeline. Like, we're going to have a products platform. We're going to have so many things that we are working on. So for now, you can access. You can download our apps if you're on the customer side. You can download our apps from both stores, both the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. And then you can also visit our website, www.bellebeautyug.com. And then you can follow us on all social media platforms as Belle Beauty Uganda.
40 Days 40 FinTechs is presented in proud partnership with Crossleg Technologies, Modus Box, Modular Foundation, and Level 1 Projects.